Marrakesh, probably one of the most exotic destinations in the world, steeped in culture, history, craftsmanship, and a certain sense of magic rarely found anywhere else. This was my first time ever in Marrakesh, Morocco, and even the continent of Africa. Grab your magic carpet because we're going on a ride. My journey begins in Lisbon the day before Christmas Eve. I'm in the process of moving here and didn't want to spend the holiday alone in a place where everything is closed and everyone is at home celebrating with friends and family. I decided to book a spur-of-the-moment trip for 3 nights to Marrakesh, only an hour and a half flight from Lisbon. I didn't love flying TAP, but the views as we flew over Morocco revealing a red, mountainous terrain were beautiful. Once landed, I raced to the border control to find a long, snaking line that took around 45 minutes to clear. Well, I'm officially in Marrakesh. It's my first time ever in Morocco and my first time ever in Africa. It was a really short flight from Lisbon, but walking out of the airport, I could not find this man who was supposed to be picking me up and who has finally. I found him. I went back and forth 3 times, probably more than that, and then I was about to take a taxi out of desperation, and I was just getting such a bad vibe from all the drivers who immediately tried to rip me off. It was written, on the sign that the price is supposed to be like 100 or 150 dirham, and the first thing the guy said to me is 300, and I knew that he was totally trying to bullshit and take advantage, and I walked away, and then he said 250, and then I kept walking away, and he said, how much do you want to pay? And I said not more than 150, but I didn't even see that he had a machine to pay via credit card in his car, and I just felt like this man is going to abduct me and then make me pay some absurd amount of money, and I didn't have any cell phone reception, so it's just kind of like really stressful. I don't think I've had this experience in a long time. Maybe actually when I go to India sometimes it's like that as well, if I don't have immediately a SIM card, and there isn't necessarily a language barrier here because I speak French, but just again, it's my first time, but I made it and I'm on the way now to the resort where I'll be staying for the next few days. The weather is gorgeous, the sun is out, there's not a cloud in the sky, so I'm really happy leaving gray and cloudy Lisbon for the next few days. I was staying at the Dar Sofil, a small boutique resort which was about a 25-minute drive from the Medina, which made it both extremely peaceful but also proved inconvenient when I wanted to do various excursions. But we'll get to that later. For now, take a look at this grand entrance and the gorgeous property. So I've made it to my resort. This place is called Dar Sofil, and I found it on Booking. It was like one of the most highly rated places in Marrakesh. There's only 4 bedrooms here, so it's super quiet and super private. But just behind me, there's this huge pool with all of these lounge chairs, which must never be busy because if you only have 4 rooms, how many people can be using the pool at the same time? So really nice. I'm a bit kind of still reeling from the experience of trying to find that driver, but everything is okay now. I'm here, just waiting to go into my room, and then I think I'm gonna relax. I've also just ordered dinner, or rather put in my order for dinner because they're gonna prepare it fresh, the man told me. And yeah, so it's my first night. I'm just going to kind of relax tonight, and then tomorrow begins all the adventures. But once I get into my room, I will show you, give you a tour. But looks gorgeous, and I cannot believe that I am actually here. I've dreamed about coming to Morocco for a very, very long time. Well, how gorgeous is this hotel and this room? I mean, look at all of this space, and it's so quiet and private here. Again, only 4 bedrooms, and I just go right outside here, and look, here I have the pool right over here. I'm gonna have my dinner on this lovely little table, and it just is so gorgeous. Oh, he's come back with the Moroccan tea. Merci.
Je vous en prie.
So this was basically a spur of the moment trip for me. I just realized that it was going to be really depressing to be in Lisbon where I don't really have friends or obviously any family over the Christmas time when everybody is, with their loved ones, and I was going to be all alone in this Airbnb apartment, and I thought, well, where can I go or what should I do? And then it just popped into my head, why not go to Marrakesh? I have dreamed to come to Morocco for so long. I just have this idea, the architecture and the culture being so fabulous. And from Lisbon, it's only an hour and a half flight. So I just was like, why not? And I'm so glad. It's unbelievable. You can hear all of these birds chirping around me, and I've come just in time for the sunset. It's absolutely gorgeous here, and I feel like I have the whole place to myself. I haven't seen a single other person since I arrived other than Mehdi, the attendant who has been making the tea and showing me around and everything. And again, the room is just so beautiful. Like, how amazing to be here. It's so exciting for me to get to discover a new country, and again, one that is to me so exotic and interesting, in a place where I get to speak French, which is always un grand plaisir pour moi, always a pleasure for me. So just so lovely, so excited to be here, and I have a few really cool things planned that I'm going to take you along for. Tomorrow I'm going shopping in the Medina. Actually, I booked like a Airbnb tour, so I'm just going to go meet and a local person because it is frankly a little bit overwhelming here. I can already tell with just the kind of negotiation and the people trying to take advantage of you. And then on Sunday, I'm going for like a whole day kind of trek through the mountains. So really, really exciting. Here for only a few nights, but I'm going to make the most of it and take you all along with me. The next morning, I was awake by 8 to head to the Medina and meet with my guide, who would walk me through the souk and point out some cultural highlights along the way. As we made our way through the cavernous streets leading into the souk, I felt transported back in time. The incredible thing is that this place feels authentically ancient, and in the early morning before most of the tourists have awakened, it's even more magical. We visited a small carpet weaving operation where men meticulously hand-spun and loomed wool into plush treasures. When you observe the work that goes into making a traditional Moroccan carpet, you can understand why they're so prized and special. So this is the first shoe shop that we've come into, and everybody knows I have a shopping addiction. I love shoes. I've just found these babouches that I think are really fabulous. They match perfectly with the red Moroccan fez hat that I want to buy. I'm trying to create this whole look, and so I think that they're great, and it's my first purchase today in the Medina. So these slippers are not very pretty, but they're extremely comfortable. They have this nice amount of cushion here in the sole, and they would be just great house slippers. In the souk, each section tends to specialize in a particular artisan craft, whether it's carpet weaving, leather tailors, shoemakers, lamps, or traditional clothing. You could spend an entire day, possibly even several, wandering through its aisles and still miss out on treasures. So this is the traditional Moroccan fez hat, and I just think that it is so cool. The style just fits me and it makes me feel very Moroccan. I mean, people here keep laughing at me about my mustache, that I actually look Moroccan anyway, which I'm not, but I could totally pass, especially if I'm wearing this hat. I'm just trying to decide, do I like this one more? Or look at this style. There's the kind of...
Ça, c'est existe en d'autres couleurs, si tu veux.
La lumière, elle est très belle.
Ah oui, c'est magnifique. sous la lumière qui pénètre,
Oui.
comme ça.
Mais comment je vais faire ça moi-même si,
Alors,
si je lâche
vous avez le vidéo.
Mais je suis pas très doué pour ce genre de trucs. Hein. Il faudrait que je dorme en ça pour que je puisse le porter demain aussi.
Alors,
Parce
c'est
que
le
demain,
turban,
je vais...
lequel les hommes touaregs, les hommes sahariens, ils le font sur leur tête, autour de leur visage parfois.
Oui.
Cache la moitié du visage contre les tempêtes. Il est devenu comme... le style comme ça est devenu comme le logo des hommes bleus.
Ouais.
Touaregs. Aussi, ils le font comme ça
Ah
pour,
ça c'est génial.
pour se
Oui,
protéger,
pour une photo, hein.
pour se protéger de,
Ah, c'est trop bien.
du sable, des tempêtes.
Et pour ça, normalement, je devrais payer quel prix hein?
Ça?
Mais honnêtement,
Non, non, honnêtement, 100 dirhams.
100.
Oui.
D'accord. J'aimerais bien prendre ça.
D'accord.
So today is Sunday. It's my last full day in Marrakesh. I'm already leaving tomorrow, but this day kind of started off in a really dramatic fashion. I woke up super early for me, like 7:15, because today I had booked an experience of going hiking in the mountains and camel riding, and it was like this whole, I think, 7-hour excursion that was planned today. And the hotel staff had organized with the guide to come pick me up here at this hotel because we're about 10 kilometers outside of Marrakesh. However, the driver actually would have needed to come basically through this area on his way to the mountains. So that was scheduled, and I was up really early, which is super hard for me. And then I guess to cut to the chase, to cut to the heart of the matter, is that the driver said he couldn't find the place and that all of these people were waiting with him and that he couldn't come here because he couldn't find it and that he was going to cancel. And it was really upsetting, you know, like I was really looking forward to this. I'm only here in Marrakesh for 2 full days. I had planned things out. Just things haven't been going to plan since I've been here. Like yesterday, the tour had canceled on me for the Souk, but then I ended up booking someone else last minute. And so basically in my state of, you know, anger and whatever, I just booked another thing for this evening. So I'm going on an ethical camel ride. I say ethical, that's actually how it's advertised on Airbnb because these camels particularly are treated better than a lot of the other tourist camels. So I'm going on a ride through the desert in the sunset, so that should be fun. I should get some beautiful photos out of the experience. And actually, interestingly, I'm gonna go early right now into Marrakesh because I have a kind of date. There's this guy, so how to say this, guys, like in a delicate way. So homosexuality is illegal here in Morocco. And obviously it's not my intention to date, but I opened up my Tinder just out of curiosity to see what was available. Nobody was interesting. But from Tinder, somebody followed me on Instagram, and it was this guy who seemed interesting, who's a resident for plastic surgery here in Marrakesh. And because of what happened this morning and then having the whole afternoon free, and also the fact that the driver who's taking me on this experience, sorry guys, I know this story is getting a bit long, but the driver could not take me like exactly at the time I needed to go. He could only take me earlier. So I was thinking, well, what am I gonna do in Marrakesh like by myself for 30 minutes or an hour or something while I'm waiting until the tour guide? So I messaged this guy and I said, hey, are you available? Do you wanna get a coffee this afternoon? And to my surprise, he actually said yes. So in about 5 minutes, I'm gonna be going to the car and going into Marrakesh to meet this doctor for just a drink, you know, because I only have literally 1 hour before I have to go meet the tour guide for the thing tonight or this evening. But it's just interesting, you know. Yeah, it's a weird situation. I'm really glad that I was not born here because I can see that being gay is not easy. It's really an issue I'm, you know, seeing also as well in Indonesia, where I've been living the last 4 years with the passing of this new law that basically outlaws sex outside of marriage. And so it's kind of one of the reasons that I'm, you know, really looking forward to moving to Europe, to a more liberal place where I don't feel like the government is against my existence. So anyway, I'm gonna go now and have a little cute date, and then take you guys on my trip in the mountains, or actually in the desert, and that will conclude my lovely time here in Marrakesh. I have a lot of mixed thoughts, and things that I want to talk about more, but right now I just need to collect myself and head out. I won't bore you with the personal details of the date, but I do always enjoy meeting locals when I have the opportunity to delve deeper into a culture and scratch below the surface. After a brief drink with the doctor, I met the tour guide and we headed for a drive into the Atlas Mountains. The camels we would be riding belong to a Berber family that lives in the rural outskirts of Marrakesh. While other camel tours were walking along the highway, we went far off the beaten path. Literally. This is so incredible. So we're about an hour outside of Marrakesh in the full-on desert, and it's about an hour before sunset. We're going to be riding these camels here. Can you see behind me? And it just feels like I'm on a different planet. And the way that the light is hitting my face right now, and this turban, again, that I bought yesterday in the Souk, I just couldn't find it more picturesque and incredibly inspiring. So I do feel like everything always happens kind of the way it's supposed to and for a reason. You know, that this morning thing was canceled, and so I ended up on this tour instead, which gave me time to meet the plastic surgeon from here, who I may see again later this evening. So, you know, everything worked out perfectly in these 2 short days. It didn't happen as expected. It didn't happen without some drama as well, but you know, Marrakesh, I just feel like has so many more surprises and secrets for me in store that I can't wait to come back here again and experience, you know, and buy so much stuff in the market when I actually have a proper home to furnish and to decorate and all of that. So a very amazing 2 days here, and soon on the camel. While our surroundings were undoubtedly breathtaking, I was in for a surprise. The camel I was given for riding ended up being a mischievous adolescent who nearly threw me off several times. The Berber guides had to come to my rescue to dismount before offering me a more mature and calm dromedary. So I've just come back now from this camel ride, which I think took about an hour, but I nearly, frankly, died, or it was thrown off the camel, because they gave me this adolescent camel that was really young and inexperienced, and from the start it just did not want to cooperate. It kept bucking and moving, and at some point I just said, I need to get off this camel because it was not cooperating. So they took me off the camel, and another girl from the group actually offered for me to take her camel. She was so generous to do so, and then from then on, look, actually here it is. This is the camel, the one that's going crazy. Okay, now it's calmed down again. Oh, can you see it? Right there behind me is a very badly behaved young camel, only 2 years old, and the rest were like 5. So not experienced and really dangerous. Like, frankly, they shouldn't be using a camel like that to transport people. The camel was just, there it is. This one nearly killed me. Where is it? No, not the white one, here. This small one that's being worked on is tied up by itself because just very, very badly behaved. Overall, I mean, gorgeous. Look, the sunset right now. Look at the colors behind me here in the mountains. For the photos itself, or the photos alone, it was worth it, but look, here he comes. He's like ready to kill me now. There, this is the very naughty camel that they originally put me on. Anyway, so I did make it back alive, but it was not an easy experience. Why is it following me now? Like, it has it out for me. Look, the camel is literally following me as I walk. Yes. Anyway, that's it. That concludes this experience and more or less my time in Marrakesh, because I'm going to go back to my hotel, have dinner, and tomorrow I'm already leaving back to Lisbon. So, wow, I mean, a land of beauty. Look at this in the desert, just unbelievable. I can't wait to come back again to Marrakesh and to Morocco and spend more time here discovering. I just cannot get over how beautiful this is here in the desert and how amazing this light is. Look at this. I really feel like Lawrence of Arabia. So thank you guys for watching, and until the next time, take care, and I'll see you later.